Okay guys, we decided to try something new today because we're outside working and we're trying to get this finished, so we're going to work a little bit longer. We are going to answer your questions standing here around the fire so that we're actually being productive. Because if you guys don't know, I like constantly working and not stopping ever. Just ask them. So I posted on the community board. So if you guys are not familiar, if you go to the community page, every week I will post something that says, hey, put your questions here for this week's Q&A. And so we're going to read the questions off of that first every time. And then if we still have time, we'll go through and pick out some questions from the videos of the week that maybe were not in this that we think are important to touch on. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read the first one. Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Let's see. When you all get settled, have you thought about selling sawmill lumber for a side job or even cutting lumber for those who bring own trees? Oh my, it's just Thursday. More questions to come. I'm going to find some of those goose ice skates. So this is actually a question for me because it's my sawmill. Yes. So my son is also going to be building a house out here, and next year we're going to start hauling in logs, and I will be milling lumber for the garage barn and possibly my house and Kimmy's A-frame, and then I'll be putting together the kit for his house. After that, so, 15 years from now, maybe, no, just kidding, it shouldn't be that long. That is a possibility, and I do custom mill jobs for some people every now and then. Like my son works in landscaping, so if he's building something on somebody's property and they want rough cut lumber, they buy it from me. So we are kind of doing that now. The big thing about that is sawmilling days are long days, and they're a lot of physical labor, even though it's a hydraulic mill. And it wipes us out. We did a couple of jobs this summer and we shouldn't have, because it took away time, and which is why we're now working in the snow.
Yes.
So yeah, that is a possibility.
All right, Mary also has another question. Up at the sawmill, what are your plans for the sawdust, or what usage have you come up with? Mixed with wood glue, it makes a great wood filler.
Yes, so someone did tell me that, and I think it was you, and that's awesome. And all the guys were laughing because I was like, the cracks are fine. We got sawdust and glue.
Yeah, she looked at me and she goes, did you know you can get glue and sawdust and make wood glue? And I was like,
yes, but she didn't tell me that. She let me go spend money at Home Depot.
yeah.
So
I thought you had a plan.
a couple of things that we'll do with that. I will be doing deep litter methods throughout the winter for the animals. So we have about 5 months worth of winter and snow and all of that stuff. Don't burn it. And so we're going to need a lot of wood chips and sawdust for that. We also are going to do you add candle wax to it, and they're fire starters, not candle wax. Or are you just shaking your head? Got some in your eye. So that, bedding for animals. That's pretty much all I can think of.
We used it last summer around the ducks to kind of keep the smell down, and just kind of.
Yeah. We do have a composting toilet, and that is, if we can get that dry enough, so in the summer we can use that for our composting toilet. But we like to use the cedar chips because it helps hide smell. I know that we're delicate flowers, but
They smell beautiful all the time.
like all the time.
Okay.
You're gonna have to speak loud.
Okay. Okay. This is from Karen. I got nothing in your last
So
name.
let's just do first names.
Yeah. This is from Karen. The lumber you cut today, is that for the outside or inside of the treehouse addition? Also, did you get insulation for the chicken house? I have used it for years. It's great. Okay, I'd like it to be known, if you're not careful, the chickens will eat the insulation.
It's chicken crack.
It's
They
crack,
love it.
literally, that pink stuff. If you don't cover it, it's all gonna be gone.
They love it.
It's just all gonna be gone.
They're insulating their tummies.
Yeah. So that was when we cut the blue pine, and that 1-inch lumber is actually going to go into on the floor of the living room area, the extended part that we bumped out, and the 1/2-inch stuff is going to go on the walls. So it's going to look like a really cool cabin.
It's so pretty.
So it's going to be industrial container, and then this cool cabiny type thing. So we do have a couple more 8x8s and 6x6s. So I might, if we have some good days, like today actually is not bad. This is the calm before the storm. This would literally be amazing to be milling in because it's cool. It'd be great on the machine, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're building this instead. So if I can, but actually we do have a huge storm coming in. We're supposed to get about 8 to 10 inches. Probably while you guys are seeing this, we're getting a ton of snow. So we do have enough lumber to finish milling for all of the walls in the 10 by 10 living room area, and then it's a 10 by 15 upstairs. And I really think I just want to do the roof pitch in the wood and something else on the walls of that. So yeah, that's going to be inside use. It started out as outside decking because I was like, we need some 1x material. And as we were doing it, we were all standing there. Well, other than Kira, she wasn't paying attention to us, but me and Kim were standing there going, we cannot use this outside.
It was so pretty.
So pretty. See if we can pull this up. So we've moved inside. The snow started dumping down, and we just kind of wrapped everything up, got everything put away, and came inside. So we're going to try and finish this here.
Introducing my body heat, Kim. What? Can you warm this up for me?
We're supposed to get about 10 inches of snow tonight. So we'll see if we get that or not. Let's see, which one? Mary, I'm really trying to not ask a lot of questions. You ask as many questions as you want, Mary. But I'm failing. Does the sawmill wood smell as good as it looks? I love smelling fresh cut lumber.
Absolutely. I keep saying we need to make candles that smell like that.
Yeah.
Or soap or something. It smells amazing.
I love it. I love it almost as much as I love campfire smell.
Yes. It smells amazing.
Yeah. What do you think? She likes it too. All right.
Yeah, I start like going around her wood and sniffing like a dog. She goes,
I'm like, what are you doing?
she goes, your bloodhounds kicked in.
Okay, Miss Melissa, when do you plan to start working on the inside of the shipping container?
So that is, we have a few things that we absolutely have to get done. We cannot have our water freeze, so we've got to take the minutes, a couple of days to get that covered. We have to get firewood. Right now, we have basically that pile that you saw, I think, in one of the other videos a couple of days ago. That's all that is cut. I have trees that were down last year that are set for firewood. They just need to be cut and split. So then we have to focus on that. And then at that point, I think we're due to move on to getting the doors put in. And the wood stove's already in, so we can start heating. And then once we can start heating that meat locker, then we can start working in there. And we want to get in there really quick because it's actually super expensive for the gas and propane. Kim ran to the gas station to make sure we were completely topped off. So if we got stuck up here for 4 days, we could literally run the generator if we needed to, pretty much nonstop. And how much did that cost for, how many did you fill up and how much did it cost?
It was over $100, and we filled up 3 gas cans, 1 5-gallon, 2 of the 2.5-gallon. I think they're 2.5.
Wow.
aren't they?
So not even all the tanks.
So those, and then the propane tanks. Propane itself was like 68 or something, and that was tax free because it's
For heat. Yeah, that
in
they-
the house.
They do that here. So if it's for your heat, the state says no state tax. And so that was 2 small of your 5-gallon cans, and 1, I don't know, that's like this tall. So 2 that are that tall, 1 that was that tall, and then the other one is like really tall. But those 2 bigger ones, I think, were about half full.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to top them off, and it was over $100. Last year, I could fill up all of my gas cans for $30.
Yeah.
And that was, what do we have? 4 5-gallon and 2 2-gallon.
And the thing is, to run heat, you have to run propane and gas, because you have
Yeah.
to run the generator plus the heat runs off propane. So you're running
Right.
both things and using both.
So as soon as we can get inside there and have the wood heat going, we're going to be doing it as quickly as possible, because we literally can. We have not gotten the RV moved closer, and I honestly am starting to have doubt that it's actually going to be able to happen. We will still try to maybe see if we can vent to over here, but we are a pretty good sized distance. I would say 16 feet, maybe 20 feet. Yeah, 15, probably 15 feet from the shipping container. Kira's cabin is quite a bit closer, so I think venting over to hers isn't going to be too big of a deal. I think it'll still hold quite a bit of heat in the air, especially if we can pick up a little fan that can just kind of pull it in there, and that's obviously something we would try to do for into here too, but I just think that it would cool off. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could work. I don't know. But I'd really like to just get the RV flipped around and moved closer, but I just don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah. So it would be nice. But you want me to continue reading, or you guys want to read?
I don't care. You can read.
All right. Estella, she wants to know: are we going to put up walls and insulation in the shipping container?
Yes. So I have rock wool, whatever it's called, insulation that we are definitely the whole outside part of it, or not the outside, but the basic walls are going to be insulated. Everything is going to be insulated. I don't know if we'll do the inside walls, but that would help for sound. So we might do that. I bought a bunch of insulation last year for the roofs of the barn and garage, and which we're going to eventually, that was actually going to be turned into a house. But then I moved over to this area, and I got to be in this area because my son's going to build on a different part of the property. So I have all that I need to use. I would love to do spray foam insulation. Like, that is my preference. You can't, I think they said it had to be 70, the temperature of the shipping container had to be 70 degrees, and I just don't see that happening unless it's summer. So unless we just put up stuff right now, pin it up there, and then pull all of that down and just not finish out the shipping container for spray foam, then we could do spray foam in the summer. But that to me is just not realistic.
Yeah.
That's basically our job. So our job is to make videos, and we have to have work to make videos. So we have so many things that we're redoing next year that I just don't want the shipping container to be that. So, I mean, I guess if this year it just doesn't stay warm enough in there, which I honestly can't see how that would happen. And I probably will have a spray foam done underneath the shipping container, because that would be really simple to pull down the styrofoam boards and do spray foam insulation and then put the boards back up. That would stick really well. But yeah, so it's just going to be that kind of insulation.
this name, I am going to apologize ahead of time. Mrs. DeBucci wants to know, when will we be able to see us? When will we be able to see you guys?
Okay. So I think it's mid-July. We put on a YouTuber get-together for all the North Idaho YouTubers, or all the YouTubers in this area. And like last year we rented a park, or they rented a park, and we all got together. And I was a brand new YouTuber, so I participated as much as I could. But this year I'm really hoping you guys show up. And it is, as far as I know, it's going to be a park somewhere near Sandpoint. But as soon as I know, I will start putting out things to you guys so that we can meet up there, because I think that would be so much fun.
That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be super cool. Otherwise, we go to Home Depot a lot and Habitat for Humanity. Thursday through Saturday, Blue is there.
If you're on the other side of the United States, we'll let you know when we come that way, and maybe we can figure something
Yeah,
out.
because we do have someone to be here to watch the property, that can protect the property, so we can probably let you guys know if we're going to be cross country.
Yeah. Ron Husky, are you done yet? That's not the question. Why do the goats have collars? And why did you crop the ears like that?
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, I think you're being silly, but those are La Manchas. They are born that way. They are just born without ears. I don't know why the breed, whoever started developing the breed, wanted no ears, but that is a thing with La Manchas. They are born that way. They have collars on them so that you can get a hold of them, because if they don't have horns, when they have horns, you can just grab a horn and make them go where you want. But if they don't have horns, then the collars are really nice.
And because
it's cute and they're pets and we love them.
It's easy
Bud
to
and
take them.
Sissy need their own special ones with their names on them.
yes.
It's also fun to take them out on a leash and be like, I'm walking the goat.
Yeah, we could take them hiking and all kinds of stuff.
Mind you, for kids, if you have kids, don't let them get a goat, because the goat will eat the homework.
For real. Aww, my eggnog is gone.
And and Chiba, when we were milking her, it was much easier if she had her collar on, and that way we could hook
because we didn't have a stanchion. So but it's pretty common. Most people who have, especially dairy goats, keep a collar on them so that they can get a hold of them and move them around.
With or without horns.
Yeah.
The collar is a little preferable, because occasionally the horns will splinter because they're still growing. It's not a pleasant feeling.
No. Okay, Mary's Homestead. Did I hear you say you can't hook the cook stove up to propane, and if so, why?
No, from what I understand, and I should have did a little bit more research before we did the Q&A on the stove. We went in, it was sparkly and shiny, and we got it.
That one's not on me this time.
Way bigger than what we are using.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah. So it is a convection oven. I don't know if it's propane or electric on the bottom. I think it's all electric. I think that's what Marty was saying, because he actually looked at it and then gave me the finger wag, because it probably wasn't a very good purchase for off-grid. But we can use the top part. They were supposed to convert it to propane there at Habitat for Humanity. We'll double check that and make sure that it is propane, so that part can be used with just the propane, and you don't have to have a huge electric draw off of that. And if for some reason it absolutely does not work, our friend Darla has tips.
And Darla's been amazing and helped so much.
Exactly.
So.
And you guys know Darla from Darla and Randy.
Estella wants to know, why does the stove not have a propane hookup? And what are you going to cook? Well, we kind of just talked about that a little bit.
We're going to cook everything. All the good things.
Yes.
Both of us actually really enjoy cooking from scratch and all of that kind of stuff. So we've been missing a good stove and a good cook surface.
I enjoy eating.
She likes eating.
And it's so hard to make homemade stuff on an RV, in an RV kitchen.
Yeah.
It's just so small. There's not enough space. There's not enough burners, etc. So.
And the burners are close together, so your big pans don't even fit really well. And I like to can. So the end product of this shipping container, and I've mentioned this a few times, is I really wanted what is called a canning kitchen or a garden kitchen or whatever, and it's to process all of your foods that come in from your garden. And I love canning. So this, because I do a lot of small batch canning, when I started canning, that's just what I started doing. So the days, whatever I picked that was ready for the day, I basically canned every day all summer long. And the worst thing you want to do is heat up your actual house when it's already 112 degrees outside. So, you know, in the next couple of years or whatever, when the big house is built, this particular kitchen will be set up as a canning kitchen, to be able to bring everything in, prep everything, destroy that area, and have just that area to clean up, all the things to sit where they need to be, and then go into the bigger house. And obviously, if we had a huge amount of stuff to do, we would probably move it into the big house anyway, or if I'm canning in the winter, I will probably do it in the big house because it helps heat the house. But that's eventually what. So there'll be a lot of counter space. There'll be a lot of, you know, when we were doing the layouts the other day on, when we were showing you what we were going to do stuff, that back bedroom and that bathroom, we're trying to make it as comfortable as possible, but as small as possible, because again, the living room and the kitchen is all for later use. That will be for a guest space, but a big canning kitchen.
Right.
Yeah. So
Mary wants to know how wide is the container and length and height?
So it's 8 feet wide, 40 feet long, and I think it was 8 feet tall. Maybe 8.5 feet tall.
Get to the next
We're gonna play videos.
question. Questions. They're getting the same thing for body heat.
Yeah, they weren't wanting to come up.
Just want to see the questions. Sorry, guys.
So I know there was a lot of things brought up about, are you going to cover the mill? Are you going to tarp it? What are you going to do with it? So right now it's going to be tarped. The whole thing will be tarped. But next year I really, really am hoping it's going to be a priority to get an actual cover over that. I like milling right there where it is. I like the fact that I can roll the logs onto the mill, and that's easiest for us to do. The mill may get moved. I don't know for sure, which is why nothing's been built over it yet. But Chloe, it's uncomfortable. But definitely I'm going to get something built over that. I want a kiln, a solar kiln put together. You know, what I'd really like to end up doing is the barn, part of the barn garage, will have an area where in the spring I can just get a bunch of logs in, mill them to the biggest cants that I can out of that log. And what that means is getting your round log into a square beam, and then that can be set in the barn area to kind of dry. It's really nice when you're like, I need 2x8s, and all you have to do is get an 8x8 onto the machine and mill your 2x8s and get on with your build. It's not as much fun when you have to find a log that can make an 8x8, which actually is an 11-inch round or an 11.5-inch round diameter log, in order to get an 8x8 out of. And so that's kind of my goal, is to just, as some big logs come in, get them done to the biggest cants, and then I can break it down into 2x8s, 4x8s, 6x8s, 8x8s, or 10s or 12s. What's up?
So is that a play on words? I gotta get a good cant so I can.
Exactly. Because we can.
That's perfect.
Apparently you need a cant.
Kira's gonna steal my robe.
I'm cold and she doesn't like me cuddling up to her.
No, I don't.
So I'm stealing her warm robe.
So what was something else that I saw quite a bit
I have
of?
a question here.
Yeah.
Glenn wants to know, is your friend going to use the wood rounds for placemats or what? And if your friend doesn't mind me asking, if your friend doesn't mind me asking.
Okay, yeah, no, she doesn't care. She has a wedding, and I think that they are going to use them as centerpieces on the tables for the wedding. Basically, she's not going to seal them or any of those kinds of things. It was just this quick, let's put these on there because it goes with what they're doing for the wedding. Yeah.
Country Living wanted to know if we could put a loft under the bed so we'd have storage underneath and maybe a small desk area.
Okay, you can answer this one because you were kind of talking about how you want.
Yeah.
So that's going to be Kim's room. Temporarily until the A-frame is built.
So basically, my suggestion to Heather was, as in the RV, she sleeps in the front of the RV, I sleep in the back, and in the back of the bed is quite a bit elevated, and underneath it, we store a lot of stuff. So with that one, I was saying we should put a dresser, a couple little dressers underneath it, and I could have a step stool and just step up into the bed. That way the whole underneath of the bed could be storage. You could have a rack for your shoes and all of that stuff, and that way I could have the smallest amount of space for just a bed, and just to be able to walk in, and then have maybe some shelves above the door, kind of like well, you can't see them here, but there's shelves right above here, that you could store stuff on. So
yeah,
maybe like a twin bed.
Doing it that way, or even having like my bed actually lifts up, it's on hinges and there's storage underneath it, so that's another idea we've been tossing around.
Yeah.
There will be a desk area at the end of the kitchen. There'll be a table that kind of folds down so that you can set it up and have the laptops or whatever set up like that, kind of thing. And we're kind of definitely want to make it as comfortable as possible, but we also want to keep it as open as possible because it's a small area and it gets very crowded very quick. I can see that happening.
Yeah. Mario wants to know what the insulation plan is, spray foam or rock wool. We kind of talked about that already. Let's see. Bradley said he's going to be sad to miss seeing you milling.
I love
He
milling.
loves to watch you run the saw.
Yeah. It's much easier this year than it was last year. I made myself cry.
Rosa wants to know, snow and rain is not going to wreck your beautiful milling machine? Only asking.
Yeah, it would if I wasn't going to cover it. Like if I just left it out there, it would cause some issues. But I think we had 4 tarps over it last year. And, you have to go out there and make sure the wind, because the wind is really bad. You have to, go out and check it and make sure it's, still covered and all of that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so it will be covered.
Scott wants to know, are your plans to make a tiny house for 3 or what? Or something like a container house, like Life Uncontained?
So we kind of touched on this already, but this is bigger than what we're in right now. Right now we're in an RV, a 29-foot RV. So it's bigger than that. It will serve the purpose as guest space and canning kitchen for once I've got the bigger house built. But for now, basically Kim and I have our own rooms in there. Kira's room is separate, and then the community space is shared. And the 2 corgis will be in there too.
Yes. So let's touch on that. Okay, so Heather, her space is the treehouse.
Yes.
So it's gonna be upstairs. So we're trying to figure out an elevator system to get the corgis upstairs.
Yeah.
Justin will climb a ladder.
Yeah, he will.
But Chloe not so much.
Chloe will not. She's a princess. And it's okay that she's a princess.
She's a land shark.
She is, she's a princess but can turn into a land shark. So yeah, I'm gonna have to carry them up there because they sleep with me, and yeah. So I actually want to do a little elevator system where I could put the little crate on there and have them go in the crate and then up and down in the little elevator.
Train them to go in the box,
Yeah.
and then you just like
Yes, exactly.
pull it up.
So next year I'll be finishing the deck, and there will be some really nice outdoor steps. So we'll be able to climb up those without no problem, and then and come in and out. So the ladder that we have on the inside of the living room area is basically for really bad weather and winter.
Mhm.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll be closed up basically. I think in the summertime, I'll just go out and around. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Sorry guys, we are off grid, and therefore have no internet, and
Yeah.
we get a lot of this. I'm gonna just show you. It's like twirly, twirly, twirly. So trying to find your questions when we need them is sometimes a
Yeah.
challenge.
If we don't pre-write them down, which we didn't this week. This has been a crazy week. So
Okay.
this storm that's coming in is supposed to last. I think they said a few days. Actually, we're supposed to be kind of yucky for a few days. So I'm really hoping that this came out on Saturday. We get launched up here. So what we actually did is we park our vehicle down, one of the vehicles down at the end of the hill, and then that way we don't get stuck. And then after all the storm is done, my son will come up and clear the snow off the driveway for us so we can drive in and out. But yeah, since we're not showering on property anymore, we go to the YMCA. That would be bad to be trapped up here for
Yes.
no water. But we did get we were working on the cover for the water containers and the tanks, and we actually covered them with concrete tarps, so those shouldn't freeze. So we should still have water. Just won't be hot water.
So hydroponics indoor wants to know the same. Are you planning on building a cover for your mill to protect it? You know, you guys are amazing. You just give us some of the best, most inspirational things. We appreciate you so much.
We got a lot of really good names for Kim's channel, and I think there's a few that
I'm pondering.
that she's pondering. So that's really fun. Thanks for all that. So if you want to get in on that, if you want to have any kind of say, then definitely
But it,
message it below. Put it in the comments below,
Yes.
because she's looking at all of those. The hard part about this is because it's live in the comments comments actually don't show up after it's no longer live.
maybe put
So-
it in a different one.
Yeah.
That way I can go through them. We're getting the rolling.
We are getting the rolling thing again. Oh, there we go. Oh, and I do have to say that the paint on the door turned out beautiful. I do need to still clean around the window part.
Which is easy.
Which
Just
is
take
not
a
a
little
big-
razor blade and
Yeah, some acetone will come right out. It's not a big deal. But it did settle in really nice, and it looks really pretty. We still have to get that put up because that's not up yet. But we're trying to protect the water thing. These dogs are out.
Can you think of any other questions?
I just can't think of anything that people have brought up here lately. You got
Sorry,
any
guys.
comments?
Do you want to talk about something you just got in the mail recently?
Yeah.
I got hats,
Yes.
and they were so cool. One's like a little twirly hat that you can never end, so it just keeps going.
Twisting hat, I think is what it's called.
I don't know, but twirly sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it just twirls and twirls and twirls. It just never stops. And then the first hat I got is green and like an orangey pink, and it's super cool. It is so long. I can shove so many snacks in
And these were crocheted by a subscriber, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Yes.
She was very excited. It was really fun to watch her.
I almost made them go deaf because I did my squeak.
She's been wearing them, so she loves them.
Yeah. Oh, we got something here. Sorry, guys.
and,
two
and then it's
phones.
gone again. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yes, and we also got some emergency blankets
Yeah.
that we threw in the truck, so we appreciate that, Danielle.
We're putting together the winter survival kit for the truck with the blankets, and we're going to throw in some flashlights and
Snacks.
snacks, and probably those little things that you clip onto your shoes for grippies to walk up. The driveway's not bad unless it gets icy, and then it's bad. And we do have some de-icer that we can put down. So like tomorrow when we walk out, we'll like sprinkle de-icer in the tracks so that hopefully when we're done with what we're doing in town, then we can just drive on up.
Right. We're still getting the circle. Off-grid living.
We
No
are
internet.
talking about getting a phone booster so that it will boost the signal back here, and we're still, I think they said end of 2022 for Starlink for that. So
And you
That's
know what,
so
while
fun.
we're on that, let's talk about, okay, so you guys post a lot and we so appreciate it, and I do try to comment. So Heather has a Motorola, and so for some reason her and Kara can get on YouTube and can get on some like Facebook,
yeah,
and I have an iPhone and cannot. So I have maybe like a half-hour window in the morning that I can get on, and then I'm just the rest of the day. The only
So-
way I can get on is if I walk to the end of the
Androids
property.
are better than iPhones.
If I walk to the end of the property, then I can get on it. So that's why I'm not answering as much. So
Yeah.
hopefully in the future, if we get a booster.
I can help answer that riddle for you. iPhones are city phones. Androids are outdoor phones. So,
Well,
Or
I am a
country
city.
phone.
I'm a city girl, so or I was a city
Maybe
girl.
that is a real thing. Like, how many of you live in the country and have an Android versus an iPhone? Because
Yeah.
I never even thought of that.
It's
I don't
just
know. I've just always had Androids.
I had the kind that has a little roller ball before that. I don't remember what that
Oh,
was.
that was fancy. I never had one of
I'm
those.
trying to remember what that was called.
I had a flip phone.
So I had that before the iPhone, and then I've just always had an iPhone. So it's, I mean, it's just kind of what I'm used to. But
Yeah.
I guess I just lost.
Lost it all, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't like it down here at the couch either. You have to kind of hold it up over like my bed area, and then you'll get a signal.
occasionally it doesn't work up there either.
Yeah, but we are having a storm come in, so that's pretty common when the storms come in. None of us get internet, and you know. Oh, I just found out too that they're no longer making my phone, which is rude. And we're able to actually look at my phone because I added a phone, so we can have one to film with and one, you know, we can do more time lapses and stuff like that. So yeah, we're trying to.
Yeah, we can answer questions a little better.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we have some comments about skirting around the shipping container.
Oh, that's right. That's been brought up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So again, you know, next year we're going to be adding a wraparound deck, and so I do think we're definitely going to try to put some tarps up or something like that, because yes, that wind is going to make a big difference. And if we could, you know, if we win the lottery and we if Home Depot accidentally delivers OSB up here, or plywood would be great too.
Yeah.
Then we could easily just enclose that in and be able to do that. Otherwise, we probably will at least hang some tarps because that will help with the wind and stuff. Luckily enough, back here in this area, we don't get a lot of wind. So, which is why the solar panels and the wind turbine are way up in the front, and then we have to pay for the bigger wire to bring the power back, which is why that's not happening yet. So we'll try to get something up. We're right now just working in sequence of priority. So we don't want the water to freeze. The generator needs to get out of the weather. We've had it covered with a tarp off the back of the RV, but that actually we're going to use it in the container where the water is to maybe try to heat that up as we're running the generator, you know, just kind of make each thing have dual purposes basically. So and then it's, you know, we'll have, basically it's going to be one of those things where, oh, it's a nice day, we can work outside, let's throw something up around that. I do have some 4-foot black metal that I think would be really cool at the end of the deck. So depending upon how wide, the deck's probably going to be a 10-foot deck, 10-foot wide deck. And then having that black metal on the edge of that. So because the ground is pretty uneven, it'll be cut to fit really nice. And if I cut it to fit it really nice to this, then it won't work on the outside parts. So yeah, so there's that.
We got, Glenn was nice and gave us some suggestions. Unfortunately, so Heather got paint on her shirt,
Yeah.
and why did you not wash it out right away?
We don't have water here. We do have water because it's been freezing. We've drained all the waters out of the tanks. We've kind of winterized the RV.
Right.
So there's actually no water in the tanks of the RV. We shower at the YMCA. We go into town and we shower at the Y. Our church lets us do dishes at the church. So we put all of our dishes in a bucket and we take them to church and we do dishes at church. And we have gallon jugs of water that we make our coffee and that kind of stuff with. So it is not, oh, and we go to the laundromat to wash clothes.
Yeah.
So just putting it in a sink and doing that is just really not plausible. So,
But Glenn gave us a great suggestion about freezing the paints.
the rollers.
The rollers.
I've never done that, and I just think that's really cool. And we may be able to give it a try this year just because they're outside. We'll see how they do. But that's actually really pretty cool. I always heard that if paint froze, it was ruined. So let me know if you know that, if it really does that or not. Because I heard that you couldn't remix it and all that kind of stuff. So that could be totally wrong.
Claire is super worried about us tripping over stuff with the snow covering everything and us falling.
We are too, because Kim broke a rib early in the year and I
And
broke
Heather
my
broke her
foot.
So we're pretty careful.
I don't feel like that's fair to nature because you could see what you were tripping over and you were tripping over a truck.
No, she couldn't see what she was tripping over. She
No,
had things in her
it was-
arms.
Yeah, I was carrying stuff in a you know how when you step on a branch, and it doesn't look like it's attached to the ground, and then you go to pull your leg, and it is attached to the ground, so then your leg is stuck and you can't move. So that's what happened.
Yeah. And my truck was trying to roll down the driveway right backwards with a horse trailer attached to it. So,
She was trying to rescue it.
and I did. I just broke my foot.
But so Claire was worried about us.
Yeah.
And so we're
Yeah.
just gonna say thanks, Granny, because that's what she said to say.
Okay.
Thanks, Granny, like my great grandbabies do. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
We did get a lot cleaned up the other day. And it's been really nice because definitely things spread everywhere drive me insane. And I've been walking around like little blinders on like this. So it's really nice to have things cleaned up. We still have some more to do. And unfortunately, we're going to be digging some stuff out of this snow because it still has to get picked up. We have a bunch of tools that are out and tarped that have not gotten picked up and put in the tool shed yet. So,
But we have been, like, at the end of the day, we pick stuff up and put
Yeah.
it in a designated spot. And, you know, if we have to go around with those little flags, the
Yeah.
metal flag things. We'll go around and start putting them on top of things.
Exactly.
This is where this is. This is where that is.
Yeah. Well, this next week, we're supposed to have this storm, and then it's actually supposed to warm up and kind of turn to more rain. So that'll give us another opportunity to see where everything is. Hopefully get the firewood cut and stacked and covered. And we're probably going to have to buy some wood that's already dry to get started with the fireplace. And then what we'll do is just bring in some of the wet wood and let it sit and start drying out before we actually use it, so that it gets really hot. But yeah, so we just take these little pockets of weather breaks and time. Like, it's actually supposed to be, I guess, 38 later this week, which is like a tropical storm. What is happening?
That's tropical.
And then it's supposed to be raining. So basically, I think we're going to be cutting the rest of that firewood in that and splitting it with the splitter that the Johnsons let us use, and then getting that back to them, because I don't like borrowing people's stuff.
Yeah, they're such
And
good helpers.
They are so amazing.
They are.
They are exactly who they are on their channel. If you guys watch their channel in person, they are exactly who they are.
Yes.
It is like the best. They are the best.
They
I
are
love them
lovely
all.
people.
Yeah.
Beverly wants to know, have you considered making slab siding for the treehouse and coop?
Yes. So what I really wanted to do was board and batten, and that's what I will be doing, is board and batten. Probably burning it and sealing it with a cedar stain, because I like that look. And then the shipping container will be another color, so it'll kind of blend all together and look really cool. The other thing that I had kind of thought about doing was the blue pine and sealing it with a clear, just because it would really stick out and be really super neat looking, I think. But I also don't want too much wood, so that is a real thing. And then I also thought about doing the cedar, what are those things called?
Shingles? No.
The shingles, yeah, the cedar shingles on the treehouse part of it. But most likely it's going to be board and batten. There may be some shingles in some spots, but they're all probably, well, the shingles wouldn't be burned, but the board and batten will be burned like we did. And that's what I want to do with the chicken coop too. And I do that because it petrifies the wood, so it just lasts longer. And since I don't want to put a bunch of chemicals in the wood to treat them so it's treated lumber, this is the way to do that without chemicals. So, and it'll last hundreds of years.
You're talking about the shoshi one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, me too.
It looks so good.
Love that. Looks
And
so pretty.
even once it's been like sun baked, it still looks really
pretty.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to just throw the OSB up on the chicken coop, and I still haven't finished that. I mean, it's kind of a prioritize. The breaking my foot really caused a lot of setback this year, because even now, up and down the ladder, it really hurts my foot. So, I pushed through it to get up to this point, because I knew once winter came that we would be able to slow down and there would be less ladders and there would be less of that. So it was kind of a push through it. But there's been physically a lot of just hurting a lot and just working through it. And I'm ready to slow that down and let maybe everything finish healing, kind of thing. But you do what you gotta do.
We have taken some rest days, and that's why, some of the things that need to get done haven't quite gotten done, is because you do have to listen to your body. And we both are having a shoulder problem, and Kira's starting to have an issue too. So
Mine's finally healed.
it's better. Okay.
Oh, good.
So, but we're trying to take it a little
We're
bit
almost
easier.
50, and she's 26.
That's true.
So next year I will be 50.
I also want to say I don't damage my body as bad as you guys do.
Well, we're almost 50, and she's 26. When I was 26, I was building a barn by myself in Texas. So, and physically did not hurt myself at all. And that barn is still standing. Just FYI.
We're back to the twirlies.
Oh,
Let's
the
see where
squirrels
we
are
got
so
time.
fun.
42 minutes.
Okay, well, we did some stuff earlier too, so we can probably cut it now. But I do want to thank you guys. We did set up the membership area, so if you want to join and help, support us, I am working on trying to get more stuff and how I want to set that up. Maybe some more sneak peeks of what we're actually doing daily. It may just be more pictures. The videos are a little bit harder. I can only upload them when we go into town. So I can upload them on my phone. So I don't have to go to the library. So I'm going to be working on that. Same with Patreon, because we do have some Patreon members. All of those links are below in the description. I really hope that if you are not subscribed, that you would consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot.
And it's free.
It's free. And please make sure that you give a thumbs up, because we also all really love to trick YouTube into believing that this is an amazing channel and everybody wants to be on here, and they will promote the videos more and more and more with the more thumbs up and the more comments. So, I guess that's kind of all I got. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys so much.
A lot.
Yes.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.